When I was in the 4th grade and my mother sent me on an errand, a child yelled "nigger" at me, and I walked over and smacked the child. I told my mother I had smacked this child, and without turning to face me, she quietly asked me the question, "Jimmy, what good did that do?" The last thing she said to me was, "Jimmy, there must be a better way." It was a turning point in my life.
While in college, Jim Lawson received a draft notice and spent 14 months in prison as a draft resistor.
By 1955, I was deeply enmeshed in the study of Gandhi. I recognized very quickly that we black people could change a lot of Jim Crow law and racism through nonviolent tactics.
It was while serving as a Methodist missionary in India and continuing his studies of Gandhi that Jim Lawson first read about Martin Luther King and the Montgomery bus boycott.
When I saw that in the paper, I danced around my desk, though I was by myself.
He knew then it was time to return home.
I was in graduate school at Oberlin College in Ohio, and King was coming there to speak. We had a time alone for a conversation. He said to me very quietly, "Come now, don't wait, we need you now." I moved to Nashville, Tennessee. I decided that I was going to experiment with changing Nashville through nonviolent action as the next step to show that Montgomery was not an accident.
I just arrived in Nashville to go to school, heard this man preaching and teaching the philosophy and the discipline of nonviolence,
which sort of tries to set the stage for an actual demonstration, for an actual sit-in.
He inspired me. He became my teacher. He made it plain that I too can do something. And for almost an entire school year, we studied the way of peace, the way of love, long before we started protesting or sitting in or going on a freedom ride. Every Tuesday night, he would bring us together at this little Methodist church, and you would have some of your friends pretending they were beating you or spitting on you or pouring hot water, blowing smoke in your face. And you had to take it and just look straight ahead. He prepared us not to be afraid.
You could be disciplined so that you could take a slap or a punch or a hit. You could be insulted verbally without flinching and without destroying yourself in the process.
In an orderly, peaceful, nonviolent fashion, we'll occupy the stools at the lunch counters. Because of Jim Lawson, I was prepared to be arrested, jailed, and beaten, and left bloody.
Nashville became the center and the heart of the movement and what King called the model nonviolent campaign.
Jim Lawson inspired many of us to go on the core freedom ride. It was very dangerous to try to burn the bus, but some of us on it, but more than 400 of us were arrested. Jim Lawson went with us. He got arrested. Because of Jim Lawson's work and his inspiration, because of his teaching, the signs that I saw when I was growing up, they're gone.
I was a pastor in Memphis from 1962 on. In 1968, 1,300 largely black workers who were the sanitation people, the garbage men, and were being mistreated, walked off the job.
Reverend Lawson called his friend Dr. King and asked him to come to Memphis in support of the sanitation workers.
He admired and loved Dr. King. Dr. King admired and loved him.
James Lawson, one who has been in this struggle for many years. He's been to jail for struggling. He's been kicked out of Vanderbilt University for this struggling, but he's still going on fighting for the rights of his people.
The next day, Dr. King was assassinated.
What is going to be the reaction to the Negro community here in Memphis to this tragic occurrence?
Well, we hope that the reaction will be that there will be a deeper commitment to the things for which Dr. King lived and worked. That this tragic death will not be a signal for violence and for hate.
The sanitation workers' strike is the most iconic moment, both in labor history and in his history, in which we saw what he actually contributed to our struggles as workers in this country.
In 1974, Reverend Lawson moved to Los Angeles to become pastor of the Holman United Methodist Church.
We want justice, equality, liberty, access for all of the people of our land.
Reverend Lawson reminds us that our movement is essential to justice in this country.
He believes in everything he does. When he talked, you were willing to listen.
When I think of Jim Lawson, I think of a saint among us. He led the way. Jim Lawson believed in all of us. He planted some seeds, and the plants from those seeds are still growing and multiplying all across America and around the world.
I think that his power is so essential to our movement. We love you, Reverend Lawson.
As I look back, I sense that I have found the better way that my mother spoke of.